Welcome to the Wildlife Wire. I'm Mark Searles,
And I'm Samantha Miller.
and this is your source for wildlife news and the people that make it. On today's episode, the ESA gets downlisted, whales in trouble in the Bay Area, dogs doing citizen science, and Yellowstone animals fleeing? Question mark? It's always good to feed the local wildlife, right? That's what they tell us.
They literally tell us the opposite.
Don't
Mark. You should-
feed local wildlife.
This is a pop culture reminder to those of you that may want to have pet possums, raccoons. You need to not do that. Don't feed them. Don't feed them.
But here's another pro tip. If you're ever having a sad day
Okay.
and you need a little pickup, go to YouTube, type in raccoon caught in light, I think is a good way to find this one.
Okay. I hope so. What do you get if you put it
And
raccoon
so
caught
it's someone looking through their window and there's a floodlight on and one raccoon walks by and then the camera pans to the next one and the next one is standing on two legs with his arms out like, huh? What? Nothing here.
just
the best.
just frozen in the light.
Oh, I love a raccoon.
Me too. I know that there's things we don't love, so we're gonna give people a sad day, I think, at first, and then we'll go into things we do love and make people happy, because where we tear people down, I know we try to build them back up again with joy and happy news stories. So
Yeah.
should
Yeah,
we start
and
sad?
yeah, let's start sad and I wish these whales were
Mhm.
further down
Mm-hmm.
and that this story didn't exist.
Oh, you wish it was like the
Like
happier
literally
story or further?
like literally deeper in the water.
Okay, what's going on? Why are they up so high?
Well, I mean, they got to come up, right? And
Okay,
so it's not their
yeah.
fault. But
Got it.
this story is from our ABC News.
Mhm.
Marine researchers concerned over uptick in whale deaths in San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh no.
Yeah, and so this year, a total of 19 gray whales have died in the Bay Area, and they've had an unusually high number of whales sightings, and so they've had 30 individual gray whales that have been confirmed in the region from photographs, and they're saying it's also a bit late for them to be coming up as they make their migration north to the Arctic.
Uh-huh.
And these whales are dying from boat strikes.
And are they leaving later because of climate change, or do they know why they're leaving later?
I don't think so. I mean, because you would think that they would be leaving earlier because of climate change. So maybe it's just, some air currents, water currents, and everything that's made them a little bit later than normal. And the reason why that gray whales are more susceptible to boat strikes than say like orcas or humpbacks is that they have like a real low profile,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're more difficult to spot as you're blasting through the Bay Area. And so
Okay.
obviously they're advising boaters, captains, if you will.
Okay.
To
Ahoy, matey, watch out for the whales. Got it.
That's right. To slow it down and keep an eye out for the whales. And this is a higher number of whales that have died than on average, but this does ebb and flow kind of year to year. And the worst was as an aggregate in 2016, the estimated size of the eastern North Pacific gray whale population was about 27,000 individuals.
Mm-hmm.
But starting in December of 2018, there was a number of gray whales that were stranded. And then from 2019, we saw a major decrease. Actually, excuse me, starting in 2016, really, we started to see a major die-off, a what they call a UME, which is an unusual mortality event.
Huh.
And about 40% of the North Pacific gray whale population died. And so they went from
Wow.
27,000 to about 15,000. And that happened because of what they said was a localized ecosystem change that
Huh.
was changes in food. There was malnutrition, decreased birth rates, and increased mortality.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and so that was from NOAA, actually, NOAA Fisheries, but they have a link in the article that I'll leave in the description. And so they have a population now of about where it was in the 1960s when they first started tracking. So the whales have peaked
Mm-hmm.
twice, kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
humpback, if you will.
Yes, okay. We're following the ebbs
But
and flows of whale population, and it's making me sad, Mark.
yeah, yeah, and
These are
so
sad whales.
and this is one where it's not like our friends, the resident orca whales in
Right.
Puget Sound, where they're kind of dealing with an existential crisis of food source, right?
Right.
This is something that we could, as far as these boat strikes go, I mean, we could rectify it and just better, careful boating.
Yeah. Do
But
better, captains of the
I
oceans.
I know, and I know it's hard too because I like going fast in boats,
Uh-huh.
and but is it worth it? And so they've done a really good job in Florida, in manatee areas.
Yeah, I've seen that where they were starting to have really sensitive manatee populations, and then they did different propeller restrictions and different types of boating. Now you can actually go on really cool little eco tours where you don't disturb the manatees.
I've
Yeah,
been
it'd
on
be cool.
one.
You have? Oh, you're such a jerk. I have not been on one. I hope you enjoyed yours. I am just here to talk about them as if I've seen them.
Yeah, this one was on a river in Florida,
Hmm.
and it's where they filmed Swamp Thing, I think.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think it was Swamp Thing. But yeah, really gorgeous area there, and the manatees are incredible, and the water's crystal clear, and
Oh,
anhingas flying around.
I
Fun
don't,
fact, as I'm
I don't.
rambling here, there was
I'm
an
ready.
anhinga in Boulder, Colorado, just a
Wow.
few weeks ago, and
For the listener, can you describe what an anhinga is, please?
yeah, and anhinga looks like a really big cormorant,
Uh-huh.
but with like a pointier bill, like a great blue heron, and
Okay.
and they don't come this far west or
Uh-huh.
inland,
They
and
didn't.
they didn't.
Correction. They
Well,
didn't.
they have
Now
in
they
the
do.
past. It'd been decades since the last
Okay.
one had been spotted here, and they thought that it was an air current situation and storms, and this one just got way off track and was like, huh,
Yeah.
I'm in Boulder.
Surprise. Boulder. Well, Mark, do you want to hear another sad story for the whales and other animals, or you ready?
I mean, not
Or
really,
do you want to
but
go
I
back
mean,
to the
we are doing a
anhinga again?
podcast, so I guess we got to keep moving.
Okay. Well, I apologize again that we're bringing people down. And you know who else is bringing people down? The United States Fish and Wildlife Service and the National Marine Fisheries Service. You want to know why?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because they have been reinterpreting the Endangered Species Act in a way that's been so narrow that it's made it nearly impossible to restore endangered species. And so, in a study that was released just a couple days ago, it is all about how government agencies in the United States are obstructing native species restoration and creating regulatory pits for wildlife. Now, have you heard of predator pits, Mark?
For the carcass pits.
It's kind of like a myth. It's something that allegedly happens when there's too many carnivores on the landscape and then we lose our prey populations.
Oh yeah, they eat everything.
They'll eat them all. So, what we're really saying is that these government agencies are creating pits or population sinks for native wildlife. And the primary federal policy that is used to restore wildlife in the United States is pop quiz. Go ahead.
Yes, hey.
There you go. You got it. The Endangered Species Act from 1973. Unfortunately, since that law was passed,
Which was created under the Nixon administration, and those that don't remember, was in fact a Republican.
correct. Republicans used to care about wildlife, Mark. No longer. No longer, because the Trump administration has, through executive orders and administrative rules, worked to really weaken the Endangered Species Act. And that comes from trying to change the definition of words like harm, which means damage that can be caused to endangered species. And then also through all of the different, more commercialized activities that they want to allow across habitats. So, what a group of researchers have done in a wonky but readable way, I swear, you can get through it if you click the link. They've really taken apart how US agencies have systematically gutted the ESA. And another piece of all this, we've got how the agencies are working, we've got how the president is working now. The other piece is congressional funding. So Congress has also, over time, given less and less funding towards the restoration of species and towards endangered species programs. And this has caused a backlog on endangered species review, and it's also caused an inability to engage in broader scientific research or habitat restoration projects. All of those neat things that we need to be successful within both of those key agencies that I mentioned earlier. So, interestingly enough, and let me get you this stat because it's going to surprise you. Hold on.
You know I love a good stat.
I know you do. So, one study that they cited within this research project was that most native mammals, including species of low concern, have been extirpated from more than 50% of their habitat in the United States. So, most mammals, if you think about that, that's the majority of animals living across our landscape, have lost more than half their habitat and no
That's
longer
insane.
exists there. So we really need to do better. We're in a biodiversity crisis. There's some things that we can change. We don't want states to start managing these wild populations because we know that they abdicate those responsibilities too. The study goes into a couple instances where states have done poorly by endangered wildlife or by species restoration projects. They do discuss our home state of Colorado and how the Fish and Wildlife Services actually looked at gray wolf restoration in Colorado in the late 1990s. And CPW said, no, thank you, Colorado Parks and Wildlife. They said, nope, we don't want that. We don't want wolves. Still said that over and over again. Ultimately, it took a ballot initiative to restore wolves in Colorado. We have martens in Pennsylvania. That's right. People wanted those martens to come back in Pennsylvania. And even hunters supported it. Pennsylvania said no.
No, of course.
No, thank you.
I wish these states. I mean, it's a real telling sign that the states can't be trusted to do the right thing, and I'm curious how much lasting impact. Like, if we had a more progressive leadership in Washington, if this could turn around in the next administration, or I know oftentimes with cuts and agencies that it's not just flipping back the light switch back on.
Right. And I think the other piece too is that there has to be the political will there. And unfortunately, even with progressive administrations, we see wildlife traded out for human causes. And unfortunate, maybe, I don't know, but humans need help too. So It's how do we thread the needle in a way that we can conserve wild animals and also provide a social safety net to Americans?
I
That's a
believe both,
question.
they're not mutually exclusive. Both can happen.
That is a question for the politicians, Mark. I am not here to answer that question. I am here to say that state agencies shouldn't just manage for game. Federal agencies should be funded to manage for biodiversity and for restoration initiatives. And they should also not gut their own policies and reinforce, really bad legal rulings that make them weaker, where they're reinterpreted over and over again and get continuously watered down. So ESA is important. We need to protect it. We need to protect wildlife and whales, if you will. And the study really exposes the layers that are involved in reinforcing the ESA again.
Yeah, I mean, it's our duty to protect the remaining wildlife and the remaining habitats that we have.
Exactly. And you know who else sees their duty as protecting native wildlife?
Dogs?
Yes,
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah.
We'll go to
Well,
good news.
yeah, before we get there,
Okay. No, no.
I'm just so happy that when my book, Coyote Conversations, came out,
Hmm.
that no one said that it was wonky but readable.
Well, it's because you haven't read my reviews on Amazon yet, Mark. That's that's why. But
Fair
continue.
enough.
Dogs.
Dogs. So, your ordinary dog. We're not talking about super dogs. We're not talking about, your your dog that can sniff out cancer. We're talking about Samantha Miller's dogs and Mark Searles's dogs.
Whoa. My
Yeah,
dog is extraordinary. One of them. The other one, not so much, but continue.
I'm talking about their sniffers and
Okay.
their so there is a bug or an
Hmm.
insect, if you will,
Hmm.
called the lanternfly, which is actually really pretty. But it is an invasive species that comes out of Asia and can decimate crops here, much like a pine beetle can. And we being Homo sapiens, are really bad at finding where the lanternfly lays its eggs. It's just impossible, basically, for
Right.
us. And so, citizen science, and those include canine citizens as well, have come together, and there's 182 human dog teams from across the US that were selected here to start sniffing these lanternflies out. So these dogs,
Question. Wait.
yeah,
How were they selected? Did they have to compete in some sort of sniffing contest to be selected? Were there preliminary competitions? How'd they choose the dogs?
yeah, I don't, it doesn't go into that. I don't think there was any kind of doggy school requirements or levels of sniffer success, if you will. Um, but these teams were given devitalized lanternfly egg masses. So these were egg masses that couldn't actually grow into lanternflies. Like they
Hmm.
were unfertilized, I guess is another way of saying it. And so they were given these to get their sniffers going for these lanternflies. And
Okay.
then they had two tests. They had an indoor test and an outdoor test. And so the indoor one was obviously a controlled environment. And
Right.
then they moved outside. And the participant dogs correctly identified the egg masses 82% of the time in the controlled test indoors and 61% of the time in the real world test, which is way, way better than humans can do. And then
Wow.
of the dogs that passed both tests,
Mm.
92% were successful in finding live egg masses with minimal extra training.
Ah.
Yeah.
Look at those pups go.
Yeah, and so once these teams were selected, these 182 human dog teams, they did go through several months of training, but at the end of the day, they came up to high pawing each other, and and so
High paws all around.
what a fun way to get your doggy to doing some good work,
I love
and
it.
there's actually, I didn't realize they have the agility tests or competitions
Yeah, that's what I was
and the
picturing was like, those long jumps into
yeah and the
water, but
long
for
I love
sniffing
the
the
long jump. So, but you can also do like smelling competitions,
Oh,
and maybe if you don't even want to go anywhere and compete, like it's something you can do at home with your dog to stimulate them and and uh and get them kind of excited about finding whatever smell it is that you want to put out there for them. So pretty cool. Like I think I might start doing that with my doggy.
I would like you to videotape that and we will link it in the next show and we'll see who has the better sniffer, you or your dog.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be the one hiding it, so I'm going to win.
Sophia or your dog.
There we go.
Well,
So dogs doing good things. What do you
dogs dogs are incredible. You know what else is incredible?
tell me?
AI
I
does
love
crazy
AI.
things these days.
AI is going to just do so many wonderful things for us.
Well, my question I have for you is, are the animals of Yellowstone fleeing the national park? Are they?
Um, no. Yes. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I put on TikTok and lo and behold, before my eyes was a picture of a gentleman narrating a video of what was definitely black bears and grizzly bears behind his car, walking, saying, "The grizzle bears are all fleeing the park." Apparently, apparently, this satirical TikToker took off as a viral sensation, causing places like People magazine to publish a news story saying, "Viral video from influencer." It was created with AI. And and he also had a video created with AI of the world's largest snake, and he said it's just Sir Walter Tickle boogers flying over the Amazon looking to make contact with tribes to let them know about ChatGPT. So, I mean, I feel like if people just looked a little further than the grizzle bears, like it's not hard to uncover, but instead multiple news outlets have picked this up. He had videos he had created with AI of grizzly bears leaving, of mountain lions leaving, of bison leaving, and he just kept posting that all animals were done with the park. There were too many people there, and they were leaving.
That's neat. Oh, I didn't realize there was too many people. I was thinking that maybe the Trump administration was starting to charge them rent.
Well, that was only just a certain subset of those animals, and those were the least favored ones by the administration. But did you know that there are incredible real life migrations that we all should know about and check out? We've talked about one of them, and that's monarch butterflies.
Mm-hmm.
But another one you should know, Mark Searles, because you lived here.
Sandhill
There.
cranes. Oh, tarantulas.
No, no, I love that we're guessing now. This is fun.
Well, tarantula, there's like a
Hint
festival in southeast Colorado
of tarantula
of
migrations?
tarantula migration. There's the Miller moths that come.
Mm-mm. No, think about a place you always mention, and every time you mention it, I secretly take a drink of whiskey out of a little flask.
I mean, I think you do that with everything I say.
Zambia, Mark.
Oh, in Zambia.
Fruit bats. Fruit
Fruit
bats.
bats. Oh, we're merging,
Millions of
merging.
fruit bats.
Yeah, so that is up in the northeastern part of the country Kasinka National Park.
Yeah, exactly that national park.
I pulled that out of like 13 years ago.
I have no idea what the national park was called. All I wrote down was Zambia because I couldn't pronounce the national park. But yes, all of the fruit bats, millions of them migrate from there, and you can watch them. And then, of course, wildebeests in Tanzania and Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
And because you mentioned gray whales, they're migratory too. So cool things that we can see. But these animals fleeing Yellowstone is not one of
That's
them.
not
It
it.
was fake.
Sandhill cranes. Don't forget about the cranes.
Yep, caribou in Alaska. I've got a whole list here. I could go all day. So dragonflies also migratory. They make trips for thousands of miles. Little known fact.
I did not know that.
Yeah, well, now you know. Everyone has learned a fact on the Wildlife Wire, but don't trust everything you see on TikTok.
Yeah, so write into Samantha Miller with your favorite migration fact.
And with your favorite wonky yet readable scientific studies.
Exactly.
I am here for all of that. Even wonky yet readable poetry books called Coyote Conversations. I will read those
Absolutely.
cover to cover too.
Yes.
Well, thanks for joining us, folks. And we'll be back later this week with a special guest, Adrian Travis. And we appreciate you tuning in for the news.
This has been an episode of the Wildlife Wire with me, Mark Searles, and my co-host, Samantha Miller. Thank you for listening.